If you just give me a couple of minutes, I'm gonna explain to you exactly how I made $3,114 in profit yesterday without running my own business and just talking to people over Zoom calls, and exactly how you can do the same thing using a skill set that you probably already have right now and just using that skill in the right way, okay? And I'm gonna explain exactly how I use this skill to go from being broke, living with my parents and having negative balance to my name a couple of years ago, to now making multiple six figures per year, having a life of complete freedom, and most importantly, never going broke ever again in my entire life. So let's get into this straight away. And first thing I need to understand is that I know you're being sold all these business models online, and I've tried a bunch of these different things, SMMA, you have trading, you have copywriting, TikTok shop, all that shit, and don't get me wrong, like a lot of these businesses work, you can definitely make money doing trading and dropshipping and like all these other things for sure. But there's one thing that I've been doing and also that my students do. I've trained over 100 guys getting into this industry that has a way higher success rate, If you're someone who's right now trying to like make money online and trying to get into the online space, you probably notice that like e-com trading, like some guys make a shit ton of money doing it. And most people don't make like a single dollar doing it, because it's hard. You need to learn a skill that takes a lot of time to learn. You need to usually pay a lot of money to get into it. And you have to learn new skills that you don't already have getting into it. And that's why I struggle with, because I did those things for like multiple years, struggle with doing e-commerce, struggle with doing like SMMA, and struggle doing affiliate marketing and all these little things, until I learned a very key concept, which was the fact that starting a business and learning new skills doesn't really make sense. Like, why would you go out and learn new skills and try to start a business and pour money into doing something just to make 10K a month online, when you can instead just use a skill that you already have, which is something that I eventually realized, and just apply that in an industry where you can start making money like literally in the next couple of days by just applying a skill set, something that you're already good at, okay? So what am I talking about here, Basically what I was doing is I was running an agency. I loved doing the sales part. I signed up a bunch of clients for the agency, but I sucked at service delivery, actually getting results from my clients, keeping the clients. So I was barely making any money from my agency whatsoever, okay? So what did I realize? I realized eventually, okay, I know the skill of sales. So instead of trying to like just make money with the agency and trying to like grow my own business and learn these different, like 5 different skills, trying to do sales, or trying to do fulfillment, or trying to learn like these different things to grow the business, what if I just use a skill that I'm already good at and go and work for another agency, or even go work for an even better business model, which is going and work for like a course seller, someone that sells mentorships and someone that sells coaching programs, okay? If you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably seen guys like Ashton Hall, you've probably seen guys like Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozi. These guys you see online making a shit ton of money, they're selling courses, they're selling mentorships, and they're selling like these different business opportunities, like why you should do copywriting, why you should do an SMMA, etc., etc. These guys are making a shit ton of money by selling courses, okay? You probably already know this. But the thing you might not already know at this point is like, instead of starting your own course selling business, or instead of starting the business that these guys are telling you to do, the better thing to do is just go out, learn sales, get extremely good at taking sales calls and closing people for online gurus and agencies and course sellers. That's gonna make you valuable and allowing you to tap into the profit that these guys are making. And that's what I did, I realized, okay, I like sales already. I'm already kind of good at sales. I like speaking to people over calls, just taking Zoom calls from my laptop, yapping to people and closing deals. I love doing that, I got like that dopamine rush whenever I was on a sales call and closed a deal. I love that stuff. But what did I not like about the agency? I did not like running Facebook ads, having to write copy, having to come up with new like creative ideas, like all these little things. That was very complex, and it was honestly very hard for me to like learn that while I was also getting better at sales. Because that's the issue with the agency. I was trying to learn how do I get better at sales, how do I overcome objections, how do I master the skills to sign up more clients. At the same time, I was also on this side trying to learn about how to write better copy, buying courses and mentorships about like how to get better at copywriting and building out creatives and all these different things. And obviously, like as a beginner, trying to learn like 3 of the most difficult skills in business, which is sales, marketing, and fulfillment at the same time, it is very, very hard, okay? So that's why I was stuck, and that's why I realized I already know sales, I already like this skill, it's something that I want to get really, really good at. Why don't I just go deeper on this one skill, I just focus on one single thing. And that was probably the best decision that I ever made. I ended up shutting down my agency, went all in on a sales. And that was so refreshing, It's like focusing on one single skill, waking up in the morning, only having one thing to focus on. It really changed a lot of things for me. So basically what happened there is I was talking with a guy that was way ahead of me at the time. He was making like 20K per month in high ticket sales, making way more than I was making with my agency, because my agency was just doing like a couple of grand per month and barely any profit from it. So I was like, okay, this guy's making way more money. He seems smarter than me. He's further ahead than me. So I'm just gonna do the exact same thing as him. I'm just gonna shut down my agency, go into a sales job and just hustle my ass off. And the big thing here that you're probably thinking right now is like, Alex, I want to be a business owner. I don't want to work for anyone else. I don't want to have a boss, etc., etc. That's at least what I thought. I didn't want to go and work for another business and like sell for someone else. I want to sell my own stuff, which is honestly just a limiting belief. Like that held me back. Thinking that way held me back multiple months and honestly probably years in this journey. Because the sooner you can understand that going and selling for someone else is going to allow you to get paid, to learn skills, get mentored by someone while getting paid, that's going to set you up for more success. Okay, because if you go work for someone else, you'll be able to learn from their mistakes, see the inside of how a good business actually operates, get paid and get better at the skill. And that's going to help you so much when it's time for you to actually go out and start your own business, when you have those skills. You could either go out and try to learn those skills on your own for multiple years and like fail using your own money, or you go into a business, work for them for maybe 6, 12 months, 2 years, get paid and learn the inside of how they operate way faster. So at that point, I just realized it made way more sense for me to just like get into the business, start mastering the skill of sales, working for someone else, get really, really good at that. And then knowing that my long-term vision was still gonna be to run my own business. So what I did is I found one of these guys that was selling at the time Airbnb coaching program, teaching people how to make money with Airbnb. So basically like a course or like a mentorship coaching program that was priced at $8,000 at the time. Went in, started working for him as an appointment setter. Basically, if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you're just taking calls and talking to people that have showed interest, So he has like this whole marketing funnel where he's making YouTube videos, Instagram posts, or running ads. People that are showing interest after seeing the ads, I'm then calling those people over the phone, having like a 10-minute conversation, qualifying them, and then booking them all on the calendar for the closer to actually close the deal. And I get paid 5% commission off the program price. And that's, in my opinion, the best place to start as a beginner. It's very easy to get into appointment setting. You just need to have the right type of skills. You just need to have like a process to follow, get the reps in, and then just find your first business to actually go and work for. Finding the business can be the hardest part. I made a bunch of videos showing exactly how to land good businesses, so I'm not gonna go into that in this video. But that's what I did. So I got into the business, started doing appointment setting for him, hustled really hard, worked super long hours, and grinding my ass off, just putting more volume than everyone else on that team. And I started eventually making good money. So I'm making my first like 4K per month, scale up, eventually became a closer, hit my first 10K per month in my third month of doing it. If you don't know what closing is, it's basically when you take the calls. You have your calendar open for maybe like 4 to sometimes like 8 hours per day. You get calls booked in on your calendar from the appointment setters on like straight onto your calendar. You don't need to do any cold calling. There's none of that stuff that exists in this industry really. You just talk to people that already are interested, already pre-sold, handle their objections, and basically just like take the payment and just close the deal for the business owner, and you get paid 10% from doing so. And that's how I'm able to scale now, because I was setting a program at the time that was priced around $10,000. I got a 10% commission. So every single call that I closed, I made $1,000 in personal profit. So you can see how that stacks up very quickly. You close 10 deals per month, you make $10,000 per month in commission. You hear a lot of people talk about in the SMA world that I'm making $10,000 a month for these other business models in the agency world, A lot of times that's not actually their profit. That's not actually their take home from the business, because they have costs, like marketing, etc., etc. In the sales space of being in high ticket sales, which is what I've been doing. So the money that you make is actually what you keep as well. And that's really what I've been doing now since then. So for about 2 years since I first started off, I've been doing high ticket closing and scale, just getting on better offers, selling more higher tickets, so more expensive things for like $10,000, $15,000. The most expensive thing I've sold is $25,000 more high ticket B2B type of mastermind offer. So that's what I've been doing. And this is exactly what's allowing me to be able to make this type of money between $1,000 up to $3,000 per day in profit by just being a sales rep, taking calls for these influencers, and just leveling up, getting better at my skill set, working with a lot of high level guys, getting better reputation in this industry. And due to that, I've been able to get into better and better offers where the commissions are higher, where I work with better entrepreneurs that have better lead flows. So there's more people to speak with, and they have a better offer as well, so I'll be able to make money as a result of that. So this is exactly how to do it. And if you want to copy me into the same thing, and there's 2 different paths to do this. Either you go out on your own, try to figure this out, try to learn on your own, or you pay a mentor to just like learn directly from them. Second thing is you need to find an actual business to go work for. Like I said, this is usually the hardest thing. Same thing here, you can go out and try to do this on your own. The fast track here is to pay your way into communities, People like me who's been in this space for a while, we have connections. We know people in the space we can connect you with and help you land roles. So that's the fastest way to do it, but you can also go out and try to DM people on Instagram and other platforms and try to land a role that way as well. It definitely still works as well. And then the third thing is just when you come into your role, lock in. I see a lot of people just get distracted and like a week in of doing high ticket sales, they start their own course or whatever. Actually lock in, actually start working and get good at the skill set, and I promise you will see results from doing it. The best thing about high ticket sales is with this it's a high paying job. So you come into a position where you're gonna be able to start making money straight away. It doesn't take like 6 months to start making money with this, because you can come in literally in the next like 2 to 3 weeks, land a role and start getting paid immediately. That's usually what motivates a beginner in this space, because in most other businesses, trading, SME, etc., it takes so much time to actually start making money, which is why most people give up before they ever get there. Whereas with this, you can actually get in, you can start making money straight away, you can start seeing that result, and it motivates you to actually keep going to get to those bigger goals like 10, 20, 30K a month. So hopefully this is valuable. If you want help from me, I've coached over 100 guys to get into this industry in my inner circle. You can apply to get coached by me and get placed in a good business by booking a call with me down below the video. If you have any questions, message me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.